أما بعد وبالسند المتصل منا إلى الإمام الهمام قال حدثنا أحمد بن يونس حدثنا أبو بكر حدثنا أبو حسين عن أبي صالح عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ليس الغنى عن كثرة العرض ولكن الغنى غنى النفس. The next chapter we are doing in Kitab al-Riqaq is Babul Ghina Ghina Nafs, the topic of who is a wealthy person, who's rich, who is the true wealthy person. So now, to understand the meaning of ghina in the Arabic language over here, one of Allah's names is what? It's similar to this word. Ghani. What does ghani mean? Wealthy. In Arabic, ghani is a wealthy person. What else does ghani mean? Ghina. Mustaghni, istighna. This is also an Arabic word, but it's used in Urdu. कि ये मुस्तगनी है, इनको इस्तिगना है. What does that word mean? They don't? You don't need anybody. Ghani is a person that doesn't desire or doesn't have a need, doesn't spread their hand in front of anyone. This is called ghani or ghina. So, for example, you are driving in your car, and while you are driving in your car, someone has a bicycle. You look at the bicycle and you don't think to yourself in your mind that, oh, I wish I was on that bicycle going on the street as well. But you think to yourself, alhamdulillah, you see them, they have it, they have something you don't have, but you don't have a desire for it. You're ghani, I'm okay. Right? You have your own home, you have your own family, I'm ghani. I'm happy with what I have. This is called ghina. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that a ghina isn't to have a lot of material possession. So what we think is everything in our life is quantified. My dear brother over here, his education is quantified. 4 years here, you get 5 years here, elementary school. 3 years here, middle school. 4 years there, high school. 4 years in this program, you're a bachelor. 4 years here, you're pre-med. 4 years there, you are a lawyer. 4 years there, you're this. It's quantified. I need a car. I need to get from point A to point B. Your car costs this much. It's quantified. There's a number to it. I need a house. It's quantified. What is my salary? Quantified. Who is someone wealthy? The one who has more salary. Quantified. Everything is quantified in our life. So we begin to think that even happiness is quantified. So if I have a more expensive car, I'm more happy. If I have a bigger house, I'm more happy. If I have more this, I'm more happy. Everyone is thinking of quantification. But Rasulullah says, لَيْسَ الْغِنَى, that to have everything doesn't mean that you are rich. But ghina is over here. Imam Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi has a poem which is دع الأيام تفعل ما تشاء وطب نفسا إذا حكم القضاء ولا تجزع لحادثة الليالي فما لحوادث الدنيا بقاء وكن رجلا على الأهوال جلدا وشيمتك السماحة والوفاء وإن كثرت عيوبك في البرايا تستر بالسخاء فكل عيب يغطيه كما قيل السخاء وإذا ما كنت ذا قلب قنوع فأنت ومالك الدنيا سواء. It's a long poem of Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah alayh, and one stanza in there is that he says, imagine yourself and you own everything. You have the entire world. Every gold in this world belongs to you, every house belongs to you, every car belongs to you, every pair of clothes belongs to you, everything is yours. Is there anything else you're going to need? You're going to want anything? You have everything in this world. There's nothing left. Is you going to want anything? In this dunya. You have it all though. Think about it. You have everything in this dunya. I'm not talking about Jannah, hereafter, some Hawda Kawthar or Hurain. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about simply, you have everything in this dunya. Is there anything in this dunya you're going to want? So how do you live? I have everything. I'm good. Imam Shafi'i says, وَإِذَا مَا كُنْتَ ذَا قَلْبٍ قَنُوعٍ, when you have a heart that has contentment in it, qana'a, فَأَنْتَ وَمَالِكُ الدُّنْيا سَوَاءٌ, then you and the person who owns the entire world and the wealthiest man is the same person. Some people, alhamdulillah, I have everything. That statement is ghina nafs. And the other situation is what? That I want more. I have one job, I was telling the students earlier today. that about my family. I said, there's one part of my family, everybody's a doctor. 30 doctors or something in that. You go to a iftar or something, any back problem, foot problem, eye problem, head problem, someone there on one of the stations will help you, inshallah. So now in the younger generation, one of my cousins, I called him, I said, what are you doing? He said, he's, what is this, the knee doctor. I forget what they're called. Joint doctor, knee and joint. He said, I'm also studying business. I said, you're a doctor and you're studying business? He said, yes. He said, because one thing is you're a doctor and you're making money working for others, and one thing is you have your own clinic and you do businesses like this, you make even more money. I said, mashallah, while you are studying to make money, you're thinking about making more money. While you're studying to make money, you're thinking in this studying, how can I make even more than this? It's never content. And that is why it's very important to teach children gratitude. I have this, as a child, when I used to see homes, beautiful homes, I would be very even till today, it gets to me. It's like architecture, it's one of my fascinations. But I'd be very impressed. A car, be very impressed. And whenever I would say this and my father would be in the car, he would always downplay it. So if there was a really nice house, I'd be like, oh my God, that's so amazing. He's like, kuch bhi nahi hai. This is nothing. So Allah can make even better. Allah can give you even better. Inshallah, you'll have even better. So that thing that I saw so significant, in a second He made it insignificant. When I was, I'm a poor person. Allah has blessed my family. When I started off in Houston, I didn't have a car. I used to teach and I used to go to the masjid and that's it. I lived 2 minutes away from the masjid and I had no car. Anything else, I'd walk there or someone would give me a ride. So one day, it was nighttime and there was a car dealer person and my father's friend, and there was a car I saw at nighttime. And I liked the color and I just said, oh, it's a good car. Next day, Jum'ah, the keys outside for me, they come to me and they said, oh, your father sent this gift from New Jersey, this car is yours. And it was a nice car, it was a Mercedes. Now it's inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Someone did nazar. My mother gave me one advice when I sat inside the car. She said, beta, ye gaadi tumko padayegi nahi. My kid, this car does not add value to you. This doesn't change who you are. When we start telling and impressing, log kya kahenge? What are people going to say? You need to have this and you need to look like this. You need to have this degree and this position. Oh, I can't entertain a person who works over there. No. When the earlier generation came to America, there was no job that was too low. There was no task that was too low. Am I right or wrong? The stories you hear, someone's at a gas station, someone is there, my uncle, the first one who came to America, passing out newspapers on Steinway in Queens, New York. That's how they made their living. My brother's father-in-law, we were eight people sitting in staying in one apartment, one studio. No place to sleep. He said, I used to sleep in the tub. That was my bed. That was because I couldn't pay the most rent, so I slept inside the tub. So these values, teaching your children, working hard is more important than having more money. Because what the education system now is, work smarter, not harder. Meaning that how can I get the easy money? Let me do this little stock change over here. Let me do this thing over here. I don't need to study. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do no mehnat. As long as I can get money, I'm good. That's not the purpose. The ethics of the person disappears in there. So you teach them that money is insignificant, but be a hard worker. Be someone principled. Weekend or weekday doesn't matter. Maktab ishq ke andaz nirale dekhe, usko chutti na mili jisne sabaq yaad kiya. That the one who actually studies, they have no holiday or vacation. Because every vacation and holiday is a time that they study from. So anyway, this hadith over here in this chapter, it's mukhtasar, it's simple. Where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that be content. Next week's hadith, and the discussion is a bit long, but it's a very interesting discussion, which is Babu Fadl al-Faqr. Faqr in Arabic means poverty. So there's a debate over here, and the discussion that is there a virtue or blessings in being poor, in not having enough. So there's a hadith regarding there, and then there is a debate that is it better to have money and then give sadaqah, or is the one that doesn't have and is patient, Which one is more afdal? So inshallah next week we will discuss about this between these, and there's different opinions and different perspectives. But the ahadith that the Prophet ﷺ channels inside there is very interesting, is because the Prophet ﷺ, his life had 3 stages inside it. He had ghina, faqr, and kafaf. In the beginning he had faqr. Faqr means poverty. The Prophet ﷺ went through poverty. Then after that Allah gave him conquests. So then he was very wealthy. The Prophet ﷺ would give away what is equivalent to today $1 million overnight. To one person, the Prophet ﷺ would give it. 100 camels here, with this person, it's yours. Take it. Hundreds and thousands like this. The Prophet ﷺ was generous. And then the last stage of the Prophet ﷺ's life was kafaf. What do I need? I'm ready to leave, and everything else that is extra, I don't need it. And based on this, I'll say one last story and I'll finish off. When the British were colonizing India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, there was a rebellion from the Muslims, and a lot of scholars were in that rebellion as well against the British colonizing faction. The British tempted them with wealth, tempted them with pensions, tempted them with positions, tempted them with financing everything. But the one who's seen the dunya and says, I don't care for anything in the dunya, for me, this one thing is enough and that's it, I don't care for anything else, you can't buy that person. You can't buy their dignity, you can't tempt that person, their morals and their principles are stuck. So one such person was Maulana Hussain Ahmad Madani, rahmatullah alayhi. He's generally the teacher of my teacher's teacher, but from one ijazah of hadith, I got ijazah from one of his students, from I think 2-3 of his students. He passed away in 1957. So he went into the court and he began criticizing the British. So the jury there, or the police there, or whoever were there, they said, this is treason. They said, this is treason. So he had a briefcase and he opened it, and there were 2 sheets inside that were white. And he said, I'm already carrying what I need from this dunya. He said, what I have in my hand is enough. I've already brought my kafan. You can't change my principles, you can't alter my motives, you can't convince me to do something wrong, because your dunya means nothing to me. And here is my kafan in my hand. I came walking from my own town here. I'm not imagining that I will come back. But when you make wealth a priority, then how much does it cost? What is the value of your son's job or your daughter's job for them to have a sip of alcohol in that corporate meeting? What is the value of their hijab? How much does it cost for that hijab to be removed? How much does it cost for that beard to be shaved? How much does it cost for that salat to be skipped? How much does it cost for that jummah to be excused? When dunya is given the primary factor in the minds, and you said the wealth, then everything has a price, and then parents have a price too. And then you wonder, my children, what, they have their own home, they have their own place. And then when you get older, then what do you care about? All you care about is good company. I cannot eat as I used to eat, cannot sleep as I used to sleep. I cannot speak as I used to speak. I cannot walk as I used to walk. Now in this dunya, all I desire is the children and the family that I have, I want them around me. I know I said last stories, and I'm not going to say another story, but sometime if you remember, remind me of one of my i'tikaf stories. I was sitting with the Qadi, the former judge of Madinatul Munawwara, and his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. So that's a story, inshallah, sometime I will say. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.